Well, just a huge win tonight for so many reasons. I'll start by saying that TCU is obviously one of the best teams in the country. When I went into this game watching film, I really couldn't find any weaknesses. And I knew that it was going to take our absolute best shot. Not our best shot, but I knew that we were going to have to play well, and that it was going to be a game that you found a way to win, because they certainly weren't going to lose without being forced to or really challenged. But I mean, they're good. They got three of the best players in the country. They've got one of the best post players in the country, and one of the best point guards in the country, and one of the best shooters in the country. So that is a really tough trio to stop, but our team was up for it. I have to shout out our marketing team, our student section, our band, and our fans, because that was the best environment that I've ever been a part of since I've been here. And I'm so grateful that they showed up the way they did, because I don't know if we find a way on that comeback. You know, we really kind of rode our crowd, and we don't get this win without them. So for our students, they were huge. It's one thing to have our normal fans, but our student section was phenomenal, and I thought they really made a huge difference. Jaden Wooten was special tonight. She was not playing like a freshman. I think she really grew up tonight, and that's the player that we've known that she can be. So it was great to see her step up and really carry us when we needed it. Stailee continues to do Stailee things, make big shots, get huge rebounds that are very timely. And all in all, our defense down the stretch made a huge difference. To hold them to 20 points in a half is phenomenal, because they are so good offensively. And I thought that Micah and Lex and Jaden really kind of led the charge there. And Tenon, I mean, she's only scored 2 points, but finishes plus 12 in the box. So just all in all, great team effort. Can't say enough positive things about just the heart of this team and the belief to be down 15 and stay the course and find a way to win that game against all odds, I think just speaks to the heart of this team.
You talked about Jaden all year. Obviously tonight, 14 points in the second half. She's face guarding an Olympic player. I mean, did you see her kind of grow up tonight, and was that kind of a challenge at halftime to be like, go out and be the player you can? Yeah,
definitely. At halftime we challenged our entire team. Like, someone's got to be a spark for us. Someone has to, whether that's getting on the floor for a loose ball or getting a tough rebound or making a big play or a big block or whatever. And because I felt like if we did that, then the crowd would get into it. And Jaden did that. She, saved a ball out of bounds, and then that led to us scoring and kind of breaking things open a little bit. So I think that she is growing in her understanding of how she can impact the game in other ways and not just scoring. And she certainly did that defensively. She by far had her best defensive game tonight. She continues to get better and better with her on-ball defense, and then obviously made really tough shots while we were on that comeback. So it was fun to see her grow up.
Along those lines, I think she was 1 of 8 from the floor when she got that steal and layup there at the end of the third quarter, and then maybe just one more shot. Is that a glimpse into the kind of confidence that she has as a player?
Yeah, I mean, Jane works her tail off. And, I just think when you work as hard as she does and you love basketball as much as you do, good things are going to come eventually. And the reality for her is she's on a really good team as a freshman. And I mean, we've been a top 25 team or receiving votes or in the top 25. And so I've had to tell her, you got to be patient, because she's playing behind a very, very veteran player in Alexia Smith, who has been so rock solid for us. So it's not necessarily that Jaden hasn't been good. It's just we're a great team, and Lex is a great, veteran point guard. And that's the cool thing, though, is it doesn't just have to be Lex or Jaden. It can be both of them.
Stailee, when you catch that ball in the wing, the game's tied, you're almost too open. Just kind of what goes through your mind? Does it go into slow motion? It kind of felt like it was in slow motion from where we were.
No, honestly, that's what they said in the locker room. But honestly, I just took my time and, knocked it down. Because honestly, that was a big shot, of course. But honestly, after I made it, we just had to stay I was just like, we have to stay locked in. We have to get a stop. There's still time on the clock. But, yeah, that was really big. And the crowd, made it even more special.
I think 2 or 3 of your teammates already had 3 in the air. Some of them were already running back. Just kind of what does that say about their confidence in you and your confidence in them?
That's who we are as a team. We love each other. That's just who we are.
How good did it feel when it was officially, the students run out to celebrate with you, your teammates run out? Just what was that moment like for you?
I've actually never experienced that, storming the court like that, but I knew, I didn't even see the students, but I saw my teammates, and, of course, we're going to go crazy. That's just a great team we just beat. So much respect for TCU, but that was just awesome. The students, they showed out, and we appreciate that more than they know.
Jacie?
Coach, there was a time right there at the end when the students were on the court, you're celebrating with your staff, and then it seemed like you were able to take a breath and just watch it. What's going through your head at that point?
I told the team I just woke up thinking I woke up just feeling so grateful and blessed, to be in this situation. And, there's a part of me that, this is the big time, and I go into every game expecting to win, but there's also a part of me that is still very childlike, to be honest, with this job. This is a dream for me to get to work here, and it's a dream to get to play in these types of games. This is the first time I've ever had an opportunity to play a top 10 team on our home floor. And so I talked to the team about that, before film and shoot around, just these games are the type of games that you dream of as a little kid, and even still to this day, this is why we came here. This is why we work so hard to get to be in these positions. And I just told myself, no matter what, I'm going to have fun tonight. I'm going to embrace this. And we're going to believe that we're going to win this game. We fully expected to win. And I don't know, it's special. It's special. And I was part of the reason I was so grateful is because of who I get to do it with. So when you love the people that you're fighting with and working so hard with every single day, it's you might not win every game, you might lose some games, but ultimately it's about that journey and that process. And if you love the people that are on that journey, then you've already won. You know what I mean? And so I was able to go into this game just feeling I think we're going to win. I know we can, but no matter what, I'm going to enjoy this. And it's just incredibly special.
They got you guys on the glass pretty good in the first half. Was there something schematically you changed in the second, or was it just better execution?
We just were not tough. We felt like they were being the more aggressive team. We didn't attack at all offensively. We were not drawing any fouls. They were the aggressor. They were drawing fouls. They were getting to the free throw line. They were killing us on the glass. It really wasn't anything schematic. It was more it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And we just weren't being the tougher team. So once we challenged our team and, again, kind of, had to get that going, then that made a huge difference.
You mentioned all the pieces that team has. What goes into keeping a team that scores 82 points a game to 59?
Just heart. And, I've talked about Kelby Jones, being kind of our defensive coordinator, and he was great. We were just trying to find ways to kind of be able to change the pace a little bit. In the first half, they were able to walk the ball up, call exactly what they wanted, execute it, and then when we were getting stops, then they were getting rebounds, and it was just I felt like we were on defense the whole first half. So we were trying to find ways to kind of keep them on their toes or change the pace a little bit. So picking them up full court, trapping ball screens, little things like that I thought made a really good difference. And that was just great coaching by my assistants. They were awesome tonight in helping me with adjustments.
Stomach turning were those free throws on both sides?
Say that again.
How stomach turning were the free throws on both sides?
Yeah, look, we knew it wasn't going to be easy, and we made it way more interesting than we needed to. But all in all, lesson learned. I know those particular players are going to be working on their free throws a little extra tomorrow.
Coach, it's kind of hard to tell exactly when a program might take a step from good to really good or really good to great. Do you kind of think that this could, in terms of perception, be a stepping stone game for this program?
Well, it should be. I mean, it should. And I think we've been doing that all season long, whether it was in our non-con, not just the winning, but the way we were winning. We've set all types of records. I mean, we've got a really great thing going. And this is just one more stepping stone of affirmation of what we've got going here. And what a great thing, what a great place this is to play. And I feel like people are definitely taking notice, but really we talk all the time. We don't care. We block out the noise. It's just about us and proving ourselves right.
Is this a game when y'all go back? Obviously, you can get some confidence from beating a team like this, but can you also learn, get better from just going back and watching this game?
1,000%. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, Stailee, she's got such a great mind for the game, and so she knows. She was coaching our team up in those last, huddles and timeouts, saying the same exact things that I'm saying, and that's part of why we're so good right now, because we're player led. But yes, so many lessons. We made a lot of mistakes, and we also did a lot of great things. I mean, look, we lost that Houston game, and that was the most disappointing loss I think I've ever been a part of. But we scored 34 points in the fourth quarter, and we had a hell of a comeback. So when you're down 15. Not 26, because that's what it was at Houston. So you're learning in the good, you're learning in the bad, and there's a lot of great takeaways from this game for sure.
Stailee, I'm curious, 2 weeks ago you'll get a top 25 win against West Virginia, then y'all ranked the next day, and then you lost to Houston. What were those past 2 weeks what can you learn from the past 2 weeks to prevent that from happening again?
Honestly, just our focus. We can't get too content with the rankings, the number beside our name, and I think we really realized that, and we can't underestimate any Big 12 team, no matter they're at the top or the bottom. So I think we really learned from that, but in practices, we just have to stay more focused and get everyone involved, and we talked about that as just players without coaches. So we came together as players, and we discussed what we have to fix, and I mean, I feel like we fixed it, but we're not, it's just another win. We have to keep going.
Stailee, I'm sure you've seen Jaden go on stretches like we saw in the third and fourth quarter. What does it do for you, or just the offense as a whole, or defense, the entire team, when she's kind of in that kind of a zone?
It's so good for us because all season I feel like we've been telling her to look to score more. She's a pass-first point guard, but, that's great for us, but sometimes, we need her to do things like she did tonight, and that's just so much better for us because especially when me or G or Mike, we cannot get the ball and we can't score in the moment, she takes over, and that's just so good for us, and that's just showing that she's more than a freshman, and I look at her more than a freshman, and I talk to her that way, so I just think, she's gonna do big things for us this season.
Stailee, last year you guys lost TCU in the Big 12 tournament pretty early, and it ended your season, and now this year you get the biggest win of the season, the biggest win of your career here so far, against that team. How does that feel for you? Does that add anything extra for you guys as a team, those returners, or just?
Honestly, I don't like to talk about last year, but this year we're just so much closer. We care more. We love each other. We're just there for each other more than I feel like we were last year. And so that, honestly, I could stop there. That just means anything.
And Stailee, you guys were obviously down 15 tonight, and then, like Coach said, 26 at one point in Houston. How does that kind of talk about the rallying sense of your team in those last, even quarter and a half? There's last 15 minutes. What's going through your guys' mind at that point?
Honestly, we know we're a second half team, and we know I know that we have the heart for it. We proved it so much this season already, but I feel like it would make it easier on ourselves if we didn't put ourselves in that bind. But honestly, it just shows that we care and we fight so hard, and it just shows our heart for each other.
Jacie, it's obvious how important it is for you to build a crowd and build this kind of support. You talk to the fans after every game. I'm just curious, how aware, obviously you're focused on coaching. How aware are you of the crowd during the games? game itself? And then how important is a win like this for what you want to turn that place into?
Yeah, I mean, you have to win, and I understand that, and we've been able to do that more often than not in my time here, and so I'm grateful that our fans are, recognizing and coming. I felt like they would make the difference tonight because as great as TCU is, the reality is they hadn't really been, they hadn't played someone at our level on the road yet. And I felt like if we could just get that, home court environment and atmosphere, that could make a big difference just because they haven't been in that yet. And so I thought, again, our marketing team did a phenomenal job. I tried my best to really push, and the blackout was awesome. Like, it just made all the difference. And, I take it really personal. Number one, I take our fan base personal because I love our kids so much. They work so freaking hard every day. I want them every time they step on the floor to get to play in front of people. It's so important to me. Maybe one of the most important things for me, just because they deserve that, And then, of course, I understand, though, that when they come, we got to give them a reason to keep coming back. So when we win, I take it personal because it's kind of my gift and my way of thanking them and just showing my appreciation because I am loyal and true through and through and through. I love Oklahoma State. I bleed orange. It's so incredibly special to, for me and my husband. Now we're raising our daughter. Like, I just can't say enough about how special these people are. So to win and give them something like they got to experience tonight, that means the world to me. On the flip side, when we lose, I take it really, really hard. Not just because of me, but because I feel that responsibility to our fans. So tonight was huge. I believe that they will come back. When I get here an hour before the game and I see people starting to come, like, that's everything. And it's been fun to see it grow.
Do you ever have moments, especially in a game like this, do you ever have moments where you're trying to block them out, or are you so focused that you almost don't even notice the crowd during?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a part of it, you want it to be that way. And it's, I can't say that I notice in a negative way, but, like when Stailee makes that three and the house comes down, I mean, that's like a dagger for the other team. So they make a huge difference.
Can you talk about how special this team is? Where does this win rank for you?
This is probably, I've had some really special ones for different reasons, but this is definitely, the best win in terms of beating a top 10 team, and my favorite win in terms of our crowd and just the way that they stormed the court. I mean, I wasn't expecting that at all, but to just be able to sit back and know that our players were in the middle of those students, that was pretty special.
Coach, you guys talk about uncommon. What does uncommon mean?
Yeah, uncommon is just it's how can we be different? We talk about I think it's like 364 teams in the country who are all trying to do the same thing, and we feel that in order for us to get where we want to go and have what we want to have, we have to do things different. We have to be uncommon with our mindset, with our approach, with our toughness, with our love for each other, and just finding different ways to do that. Tonight, it was about having uncommon belief, uncommon joy, and uncommon toughness. And we got to experience all three of those. So, each game being uncommon looks a little bit different according to who we're playing. But this team is uncommon, and that's what's making this so fun right now.